Many blessings, my fellow brothers and sisters. I just wanted to come on here real quick and just kind of do a little bit of channeling and talk to you all. First of all, I trust that you're having an amazing, beautiful, and blissful day. I trust that you are living the moment up, doing everything that you can to move forward, and you are moving through the day with as much ease, grace, and flow as you possibly can, and overcoming your challenges. But, you know, when I started making YouTube videos, this is kind of the thing that I did. I used to just come on here and just kind of like talk, and I'll just talk about random topics that will come to my head. Different philosophical topics, different spiritual topics, just different life topics in general. So I kind of want to do these again just because they're fun and it allows me to kind of just get into the moment and just kind of, you know, not that I'm not real and authentic with you guys, but this is like where I got my start. So earlier today I was, still am actually, but I was talking to Spells Inc. If you don't know Spells Inc., he is another YouTuber, Aquarius son. He makes a lot of really cool content. And we were actually talking just about general topics. I was asking him about the whole Enduring Virtue thing, which I never used her cards or anything like that. But we were talking about that and just, you know, kind of just the state of the community in general and what's happening. And, you know, this massive transition that we're all going through. And, you know, we both agreed that there's this sort of energy within the New Age spiritual community that is of this vibration of avoidance. And I don't know if everyone is really doing this. A lot of the people that I follow actually aren't really of this vibration of avoidance, but the sort of what I call magazine cover, slapsticky, sort of sensationalized version of New Age spirituality that most people get and see, there's a cardinal, is that of this whole, you know, love and light, namaste, we are everything, you just have to feel good and then you'll be okay, blah 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 blah. There's nothing wrong with feeling good. There's nothing even wrong with sometimes having to fake it until you make it. But there is this obsession with the 5D and the fifth dimension. And I get it. I get the obsession. But what's happening is that we are avoiding the 4D. We just want to go straight from 3D to 5D. We're trying to skip steps. And it doesn't work that way. And what I told Spells Inc. was that, not that Gemini rules the 3D, but Gemini is sort of akin to the 3D vibration, which would make Leo more sort of akin to the 5D vibration. And what's happening within the New Age spiritual community is that people are wanting to skip the 4D vibration. People are wanting to go right to 5D, right into Leo land, which makes sense. Leo is that fixed fire, that passion, that real, true, deep love of self. It can be in many ways a representation of heaven. People want to go right to that. And I'm like, this is sort of what you see within religious circles too. How people do not really want to deal with their emotions. People are wanting to skip 4D, which in this metaphor that I'm using for this video, 4D will be akin to the Cancer vibration. And what is Cancer? It is the first water sign of the zodiac. It is cardinal water, which deals with directing energy, directing the flow. It has to do with action. I like to call Cancers the natural water benders of the zodiac. So what's happening here is that within this community, New Age spirituality, people are wanting to skip the Cancer vibration. And in my belief, the purpose of this earthly dimension is to learn how to master our emotions. And we're not going to be able to master our emotions if we skip Cancer. we're not going to be able to master them. This is why the North Node is in Cancer right now, because it's wanting us to connect back in many ways to our family, to our ancestry, and to our emotional roots. It's wanting us to connect back to that. It is the crab. And crabs, they exist on, you know, they are on the bottom of the ocean, right? So they're down there with the octopi and the squid and those volcanic vents that come up. So, and maybe Scorpio can be down there too, but like I said, the issue is that people are wanting to bypass their emotions. And here's the thing about emotions. It is water. So water is constantly moving and flowing, right? It's constantly moving and flowing. Even when you get fixed water, which is Scorpio, which in many ways can be ice, ice can melt. And ice isn't always stagnant that way. And we can clearly see that with the fact that the poles are melting, right? People are wanting to bypass emotional mastery to get right to the promised land of Leo. And I don't agree with this. I mean, you know, tell me what your thoughts are on this and how you feel about this whole thing. But we have to go through the 4D to get to the 5D. And it is in the, like what Spelzing said, is that it's in the 4D that we're going to confront our shadow. And I thought that that was really amazing that he said that. And it's very, very true. Because what's happening is that there's a lot of emotional memory in Cancer that the North Node is rehashing. And of course the South Node opposing it is starting to rehash through our relationships and our connections to other people and to other things and events. But the thing is that if you can control someone's emotions, then you got them in the bag. If you can control someone's emotions, you got them in the bag. Because those emotions, energy, emotion, you in many ways can control what they create, what they manifest into their life, what they attract into their life. And like I said, you pretty much got them in the bag. I see and feel that a lot of people right now within religious circles, within New Age spiritual circles, are being, quite frankly, pimped out through their emotions by these other entities and by other people who are quote-unquote possessed by these other entities. And when I say possessed, I'm not talking like a ghoul and you're just like poltergeist type energy, but people are getting pimped out. People are getting pimped out of their energy, and it happens. This is why it's really important to protect yourself. And what's happening is that a lot of people do not know how to protect themselves. They forget that the crab does have a hard shell. And what happens is that, you know, we have to learn how to protect ourselves going into situations. We have to learn how to hold that sanctuary within ourselves and within our soul. And the other reason why this whole emotional mastery thing is getting passed over is because people are not connecting to the moon. People need to connect to the moon more. And like whenever anyone's learning astrology or wants to get more into astrology, I always recommend like know your moon sign. Know your moon sign. In many ways, the moon sign and the rising sign are more important than the sun sign. I'm not saying that they are more important, but in many ways, it is more beneficial to know your moon sign. The moon moves so fast. Water moves fast. So if you can learn how you flow and you can learn how to read your waves, then you can learn how to read the waves of other people and situations around you. What's happening is that people do not want to read their own wave. People are not wanting to be the captain of their own ship. Of their own shit. That was a Freudian slip. They don't want to be the captain of their own shit, and they don't want to be a captain of their own ship. They just want to be a member of the ship. They just want to be a lackey. That's what I'm noticing. But this body is mostly water. So it's literally a ship. This is a relationship in of itself, this body. And what's happening is that people are allowing other people to steer their ship, but they're not even in that body. They're not even in that experience like you are. You are the captain of your own ship. And the purpose of the 3D is to learn how to master our emotions. When we learn how to master our emotions, that's when we can become more godlike. That's when we can become freer to create worlds and realms of our own. But that's just my opinion. What do you all think about this? Do you think people are getting their energies pimped out by these energies because they do not have the emotional fortitude to feel what they feel, whether it's high vibrational or low vibrational? Because that's the thing. There's this avoidance of the negative emotions that's not healthy at all. And we have them for a reason. And they're not devilish, they're not sinful, they're not evil. They are what they are. You know, they are what they are. And we are meant to feel them just as much as the high vibrations. You guys don't think that these gods or these other entities also don't feel this? We can see it. There have been plenty of times you can see it within, especially like Greek mythology. The gods would get enraged and upset themselves. The gods are higher versions of ourselves, and they have emotions just like we do. Just because you ascend doesn't mean that everything that you ascended from completely disappears. You just have a mastery over it. You have a understanding of it. The purpose of this 3D is to learn how to master our emotions. Only then when we can master our emotions will we reach the 5D. We can still kind of tap into the 5D. And what's happening right now is because, you know, Gemini and Leo, they sextile each other. So it's like we're flirting with the 5D. We're in foreplay with the 5D. But we have to have that deep, intimate sex with the 4D before we can reach the 5D. And that's just facts. So let me know what you all think about this video and about emotional mastery, the skipping over Cancer. This is why a lot of Cancers feel out of place in the world, because they are, quite frankly, misunderstood. Scorpio understands what Cancer's going through. Pisces gets it, but Pisces is always in its own world and stuff like that. And, you know, also, when you think about the prevalence of the Capricorn energy and how there's this push to be successful, to establish your legacy, your purpose, to make it to the top of the mountain, and all of these things, you have to understand something, guys. There are also mountains in the ocean. In fact, the longest mountain chain in the world is underwater. And all mountains rose out of the sea. So before you can even climb that mountain, you have to realize that you have to go into your emotions. You have to go into the water. Why do you think Capricorn is represented by the sea goat? People are wanting to just forget about the tail. People are wanting to forget about the fish tail. And we can't do that anymore. Anyways, let me know what you all think about this video. I love you all. You all have a blissful day. And as always, remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and yeah, woohoo! Smile often.